Just showing off this cheap little holster I made here, entirely from stuff from Hobby Lobby and Ace Hardware. These button snaps here and these screws are the only thing I really got from Ace Hardware. Everything else, the leather, the rivets, were from Hobby Lobby. The leather comes in a big, huge bag. Get a big, huge bag of this stuff. $6. Over in the little leather section of the goodies. And they got these big, huge, big old chunks of leather, and this is some thick stuff. You know, some pretty good. I don't know if it's a cowhide, horse hide, human hide, I don't know. But some of these, you look at the shape of that, doesn't it kind of remind you of something? You know, crossbreed, zipper tie, holster, you know, something like that. This one's the one that has a little hole, and the rest of them are really nice, solid pieces, thick stuff. I mean, they've got different thicknesses too. They got some really thin, floppy stuff if you're into sewing your own leather and stuff like that. I don't know jack about sewing in general, much less leather, so I went with this because I could nail this crap together with rivets, and it works. I mean, voila. You know, it retains. The only thing I did with this, and this, by the way, is unloaded. No mag. The only thing I did with this, just take your leather, you take a piece, I mean this is just a huge piece, but you soak it with water. I use warm water, kind of soaks it a little quicker. Just soak it nice and so it's all loose and floppy. Then you take a big flat piece of plywood or whatever you have, like a shop table or something. Take some little, I took about 3 little 2x4 chunks of wood and just kind of squish them down where it pushes over the trigger. You know, kind of makes a nice little trigger shape there, and then one solid one here on the back side, so it'll fold over this side. Anyways, you squish that all down, you put it down. I used C-clamps. Some people have those nice little grippy clamp jobbies, whatever the hell they're called. And you let it sit there overnight. Of course, you have your firearm wrapped up in I used a bread bag and had it soaked in oil so it wouldn't rust or anything. But, you know, you let it sit there overnight, take your gun out, take the leather out, and then sit it out so it'll dry completely, and it'll retain this shape, as you see here. Makes a nice, glare is pretty bad there, but, you know, makes a nice little loop there for the trigger. And then you cut off your excess, and make my little corners rounded off here. And then you make your backing piece. You just kind of lay it out there, you trace out an outline, and figure out how you can fit it on these big pieces of leather like so. Or, sorry, hold this there, yeah. And kind of trace the outline, figure out how much you need to cover up your slide, your hammer. This thing was poking the crap out of me in the side before. So, you know, whatever you want for yours, if you want a combat cut or whatever. Then you cut out your stuff, take a leather punch, and it was about $8 for the tool at Hobby Lobby for the leather punch. You punch out your holes for your rivets in here, and rivet it down to your backing piece. Then you cut out a little extra or excess and stuff like that. You get a basic shape. Kind of make these ears so you have something to attach these to, because these have to be, where your belt line is, they have to be at least that tall to get this to go over this, your belt part right here. It has to go over that, and it has to be about there. So you figure where your belt line is, where it's comfortable for you. I made multiple holes so I could adjust it up and down and for angle, like so. And then you start test fitting it, figure out how much you need, and you can always take off more leather, but you can't put it back on. So be sure before you start hacking at it. I still need to cut a little bit off here. I just got a little extra that I just don't really care for. It doesn't hurt anything. But anyways. Now putting this thing on, it's not the hardest thing in the world, but it is not as easy as your regular clip-on job. Something you gotta really finagle this sucker into place. Figure out where you want your straps in relation to where your belt loops are. Pull it up there where you want it. Tuck it under. I'm trying to do this really fast to save time. Get it above there. Click. Do your back side like this. Yes, restart my ass here. Once you get it on there, you kind of situate yourself. Oh my gosh. It doesn't stick way out. Oh my God, look at that. Oh. And me, I'm, you know, about 5'9", 160 pounds, 165, whatever. Depends on how much I ate today. I'm not a big guy, and this is just a, I believe this is a extra large, which this is just my regular clothes. I got cargo pants, casual wear, nothing super baggy. I mean, I'm, you know, not gangsta thugging it, and it's, you know, holds up pretty well. I mean, and then you got your you know, holds in place for all those nice recreational activities. So there you go. And just to show, one-handed holster. It holds its form, because if you use the really thick, you want to use the thickest leather you got for the outside part. The inside entirely if you want thin, flexible for comfort, or something thick. I use thick for kind of keeping the sweat away. But works pretty well, you know. I mean, for about $10 a holster, I think, after I made all these, I had enough material for 3 or 4 holsters, and I still got, as you see, I mean, I've made 3 holsters so far. I've still got all this left. And this is like $6 of leather, so I mean, it gives you a crap ton. And you get plenty of rivets, and as long as you don't jack them all up, they'll last. You know, I mean, you can make quite a few of them, so. You know, it works. And good God, is it comfortable. I mean, this is the best thing I've come up with so far for carrying a full-size 1911. You know, I can lift my legs, I can sit, I can bend over, and you can probably see this part here, this grip is rubberized. I got one of those Hogue grips, and it kind of grabs my shirt a little bit. You know, when I lift my arm, put it back down, it kind of clings the fabric a little bit. But you know, you're standing here doing regular stuff, it gets a little pokey right there, but that's going to be the case with any kind of in-the-waistband holster. I mean, that's just the nature of the beast. But my God, is it comfortable. I mean, it spreads the load over all these, this weight. Instead of putting it all in 1 or 2 points right here, you got it all the way, halfway around your body practically, and it just, this just rules. So, there you have it, folks. And also, just to kind of show off different designs and whatnot, this is the first one that I made, actually. This is the, I guess, proof of concept or whatever. This is, and I did the slide different, trying to glare from the light here's pretty good. But this one was my first deal. I actually molded this on a Ruger P85, which is a lot wider, and you can see I got a lot of extra here. But I found out it fits my girlfriend's EAA-10 Foglio Witness, which is the same as the CZ75. Fits it pretty close. And you know, being that my P85 is just my truck gun, I just kind of made this for giggles. But I mean, this, I kind of got a little overzealous with cutting out the part right here, and I should have just made this more of a gradual cut there. But it's still, I mean, it protects the beaver tail from poking you in the side, and these little horns I got, it looks kind of like, I don't know what. I mean, it is comfortable as heck. I do need to dye these straps like I did with the other ones. I mean, this here I used Kiwi brand shoe scuff magic, I think is what it's called. It's got a little bit of leather dye in there, and it's not like super black or nothing, but it makes it so if you're getting your wallet out or something, you know, and then this sticks out, you don't have this bright tan color, you know, sticking out from your belt. It doesn't draw a lot of attention or anything, so if you're worried about that. The other thing is also in this one, I made this with, this is kind of where I learned about the stiff leather thing. This is kind of soft and thin. I don't know, you probably can't really tell from the video, but I mean, it's pretty thin and floppy. But it still does protect the trigger. I mean, you cannot activate the trigger in any way, shape, or form. I mean, and this is, by the way, it's empty for those of you who are anal about that sort of thing in videos. But, I mean, safety's off. I mean, you can't, there's nothing happening there. So, I mean, it's safe there. And again, protects your mag button and your manual safety if you have one. So it's a good design as far as that goes. And then this one I'm working on right now that I made for my little Kel-Tec because I'm just sick of the little in the waistband holsters always being kind of close but not quite for what I want. This is the straps. I just need to get more buttons and screws because I ran out, but kind of eyeballing it. Well, just kind of ballpark, you know. And then this I made out of a softer, still thick, but softer floppy leather. And this I made out of stiff leather. But, you know, I haven't really had a chance to really fit this yet, so I got all these multiple holes. I might cut this down more or something, so I might cut this off, put it closer here, you know. Still playing with this, it's still a work in progress, but just so you have an idea of range of types and size and whatnot, you know, this just some ideas for you. So make your own, show me what you got, you know, if you come up with something different, if you use the same thing or something similar, show me what you got. I'm interested in seeing, you know, what you guys made. So, and if you got any questions, let me know. Thanks for watching.